channel, and today's video is going to be on the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Foundation and Concealer. So if you want to see how I got this look and my thoughts and reviews on these products, then just keep watching. Okay, so I picked up this shade Ivory L2, and this looks like it's going to be a pretty good match for me. And then for the concealer, I picked up the shade L12. Now, as you can tell, these look to be almost the exact same shade. Pretty much spot on. This one may actually be a hair darker. That's my... Okay. When it comes to drugstore concealers, I typically never buy them. I never use them just because I'm so used to the Tarte Shape Tape and the coverage that you get that anything else that I've tried just doesn't cut it. Well, that being one, and two is I'm so fair that in 98% of the drugstore concealers, their lightest shade is my skin tone. So sure, I can use them to conceal with, but to actually get that brightening and highlighted effect, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen with this. I can already tell. I knew it pretty much the moment I bought it, but I still wanted to test it out. This right here is pretty much my skin tone, and that's what irritates me about drugstore concealers is their shade range is not that great, especially if you're fair. This is light, it is, but I'm lighter than this, so I wish they had more shades like the Tarte Shape Tape. I get this shade Fair. Now, I don't know if you can tell just to kind of compare, but look at the difference in these two. This is very, very light, and this would probably be like their third or fourth shade in Tarte Shape Tape, and this is the lightest, and I really like this one. It does a great job at brightening. So I wish drugstore concealers would just come up with more shade ranges. That's the main reason why I don't ever buy them, because I don't want to waste my money, because just about every concealer that I've ever bought from the drugstore, it's not light enough for me. But enough of that, and let's get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, let's see, I'm going to use a sponge on this side and then a brush on this side. If you see me looking right here, this is where my mirror is, so I can see a little bit better. But let's try the brush first. And I'm just going to do about a pump and a half. I'm not really sure how full coverage this is, so we'll see. And I did already prime, and I used the Milani Prime Shield. The brush that I'm using to blend this foundation in is the, let's see, what is this? The Cosmetics Complexion Perfection Foundation brush. Completely lost my train of thought. Okay, so this is about half of my face and my hairline. It's very nice coverage. It has a very airbrushed effect to this, so I'm really liking the brush side. It's looking pretty good. I'm gonna see. Pretty good. It's pretty luminous for sure. This is a luminous foundation, but it's nothing too bad. It's not as much as I thought it was gonna be, that's for sure. So now on the brush side, and I'm actually gonna spray my brush with some rose water. I use the same amount, and you definitely don't get as much coverage. You can tell this side is more of a, I would say, full coverage, and then this side right here is more of a light to medium coverage. So if you're wanting a lighter coverage, definitely use a sponge. If you want more of a full coverage, I would go in with a brush. One thing I really like about foundations that's like this, that's more of a medium to full coverage foundation, is it gives you the option if you just want a very light amount of coverage, just if you're, you know, kind of running errands for the day, it's great for that. Or if you want to build it up and get that really full coverage. It allows you to do that. So I always prefer foundations that is medium to full coverage and buildable, just so you have the options. And a lot of the times full coverage, like super full coverage foundations on me, they cake up really fast and crease bad on me, and within a couple of hours it looks like a hot mess. Like some really well-known foundations, like that's super popular, I hate, just because I don't think it looks as pretty. I think a foundation always looks better when you build on it and you get it that perfect coverage that you want and that looks best on you, rather than not having that option and you just put a little bit on and it's like cake face all day long. So I like to have options, and I went back into just a little bit more to build that up, and it's looking really, really nice. It looks very smooth, very airbrush. It covered any redness that I had. Great. So far this is looking very, very good. I am pretty dewy at the moment, but it's nothing over the top, and I think once I set my face really good, I should be good to go. I'm hoping I'm not a grease ball by the end of the day, but we'll see. With it being, I think it's 90 degrees today. It was earlier, so hopefully I'm not outside a whole lot or I may be a complete grease ball. But let's go ahead and put some concealer on. This irritates my soul because, I mean, that's not, it looks a lot brighter on camera than it is in person, for sure. Coverage wise, it has a decent coverage. It's a light, not light, it's about a medium coverage concealer, and it looks good on the skin, but I just prefer a really bright concealer. So I don't know, I'm not really like 100% sold on this, just because of the color range. I need to check online, because I'm over here like bashing that she doesn't have a lot of light tone shades. I need to check online to see if there's any lighter ones. I was just at my Ulta, this was the lightest shade that they had. I do want to say that. Okay. It's definitely medium coverage. It's not full coverage. It's kind of a whatever you like. If you are like hardcore Tarte Shape Tape all the way and nothing compares to that, you may not like this, just because it's not going to give you that coverage that you're looking for. It's definitely more of a natural medium coverage concealer. If you don't have a lot to conceal, you'll probably actually really like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of break the rules a little bit. I know this is supposed to be just a Flower Beauty review, but I am going out in public, and if I'm doing my makeup, I want it to look the way I like for it to look. So I'm going to take a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape and just put a little bit on top of that, just because I want more of that brightness. I'm almost out, like I'm barely picking up any product. Drag this on. You can just see how much more that just brightened my whole face up, and it made me look more awake. That's how I like my highlighter to look. I want to look bright and awake, and to really like have the highlighted points focused on my face. Okay, good deal. That just made that foundation and concealer go from like an 8 to a 10. I am gonna bake a little bit and see how this foundation and concealer reacts with powder. Does it work well together? And I'm just going to use the Coty Airspun powder. And let's see if I can find the brush I want to use. Oh no. I was looking for this brush the other day and I couldn't find it, and I don't know where it's at. Still can't find it. It's weird. Okay, we'll just use my sponge. That sit for a couple of minutes and just I'm just going to take a powder brush and just kind of lightly set the rest of my face. This right here, it's weird. That's weird. I don't know why, if it's picking up on camera, but I feel like this side, it's not looking quite as good, and I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's because this side was done with a brush. I would just go ahead and say definitely use this foundation with a brush. You get better coverage and it doesn't soak up as much product. So far, this looks really, really good. It doesn't look very dewy or anything. It has just a really nice glow, and that has a lot to do with that I caked powder on my face, but I knew if I didn't, it would be a disaster in about 30 minutes. But I'm really liking it. It looks very smooth, very airbrushed. So I have high hopes for this. I'm going to do a wear test on this foundation, so hopefully it lasts really good and is a new favorite. As of right now, it looks very, very good, very full coverage, very smooth. So this may be my new favorite drugstore foundation. We'll see. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the rest of my face, and I'll be back in just a minute. Alright guys, so I just finished this makeup look, and it's been on for about 45 minutes now. It's 4 o'clock and I've got a couple of errands to run, so I will keep y'all updated throughout the day and let y'all know my final thoughts at the end. Update on the foundation. The lighting right here is not that great. Casey's kind of parked in the shade, but I've had it on for about, let's see, it's 5:30, so 2.5 hours. And it's looking really, really good still. It has settled into my fine lines just a little bit, but every foundation does that for me. I've never worn a foundation that hasn't settled into my fine lines, so that's not a big deal to me. But yeah, so far, update on the foundation. It's been about 4.5 hours, and it's looking, let's see, pretty good, pretty good. It's kind of rubbed off maybe a hair right here, but other than that, it looks good. I'm gonna see if it hasn't really separated any. It still looks pretty fresh for the most part, besides it's settling in my fine lines right there. Every foundation does that, like I mentioned before, so that's no biggie. And honestly, I'm not oily at all. It's not super hot today. It's like 70 something degrees and the wind's blowing and it's cloudy. So it hasn't been super hot, but I haven't got oily at all. A lot of the times it'll get like sticky feeling, and that hasn't happened. So far this foundation is working really good. Alright guys, so it is a little after 8, and I'm gonna go ahead and take my makeup off. But my final thoughts is that this foundation looks really, really good. It was on for about 5-6 hours, and I didn't get oily at all. I really like it. I'm not crazy about this lipstick. It's the Kylie Cosmetic True Brown. I like the color, but the formula is a bit drying and it's a little stiff. I know that's not what this video is about, but I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. I have, side note, like I have Candy K, and it doesn't feel this drying as the True Matte one does. I got 2 new ones in the mail today, so I'm going to test those out and see if they're as drying as this one is, but I'm not loving it. It has wore off quite a bit. I have eaten, drank a little bit, but it's not my favorite. It's okay. I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but as far as the foundation goes, I actually really like this. I think it looks really, really pretty. It has a nice airbrush effect, so this is a thumbs up for me. If you haven't tried these products out, you should definitely check them out. If you're looking for a new foundation that's affordable, check this one out. It's pretty good. So concealer, it looks pretty good. I did go over it with the Makeup Revolution concealer, so I can't say 100% how amazing this is, or if it's not amazing at all, just because I had to go over it with a different concealer, so it kind of alters the end result a little bit. But for the foundation, I give it a thumbs up. This is what I could tell. It was pretty good. If they had my correct shade, then it would be a whole lot better. But yeah, I'm really liking it. So this is definitely approved. I'm going to go ahead and end the video here, but don't forget to give the video a big thumbs up and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you know every time that I upload, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.